Alright guys, welcome back to another war in Season 35 of Alliance War. This was an interesting one. I actually had to rank up Mr. Fantastic, or finish leveling him up. He's at rank 2 on my second account, because that's who I wanted on my second account. I've got 2 accounts, run 2 paths. This season it's paths 1s and 2, along with some minis and some boss circle action. We got lots going on. This first one is Strike Counter, Fury and Power Struggle. Interesting placement with Symbiote Supreme, because he doesn't gain power quick enough that he's always likely to pick up some of these Strike Counter Furies, because you're not able to gain a bar of power until he gains a bar of power. It's Power Struggle. So Mr. Fantastic is a Defiance attacker, so I can't get any buffs, so he can't nullify me. And at the same time, he's a miss defender, so I don't have to worry about evading and triggering a miss. But I do have to be careful that if I do take a hit after he's ramped up so high in terms of the Furies, and he gets his armor phase there. Luckily, I have the Mr. Fantastic and Doc Ock synergy, so there, when he throws his special, he dies. There are actually very few fights. There are a few fights in this one where I wasn't sure exactly. It wasn't the best matchup, because I was trying to fit in as many fights for my paths and minis as possible. And one of the fights that I was not worried about at all, that you've seen me do multiple times, is going to have a very weird, not very weird, but a very niche interaction that has a very low chance of happening, but because of what happening, that is going to be the only issue I have in this one, and that's near the end. Here we have Strike Counter Strife. We're going in with Magneto, and for the second straight war, I mess up, or the second straight time fighting him, I mess up on that evade. I take some shock damage, but which is just going to cost me some potions later on, because I need Magneto for one more fight. But after evading that, I decide to back off and just evade, not go for the evade counter, and just go straight evade, and just make sure that I get the timing right on that one. Again, he is a Defiance attacker, but he is also #metal, so when you take Magneto against the #metal champion, he can't miss. So even though I'm triggering the miss over and over again, it doesn't matter, because he's #metal, and that's fine. Path 1, we're going to go with our standard Apocalypse and Cable, and we're going to bring Nebula. Nebula is going to help us with some minis. Apocalypse is just going to wreck Path 1 for us. At the moment, here we got a King Groot, and he is there because he can't, he's going to shrug off debuffs, but Apocalypse cannot have his debuffs shrugged off. So there I can get to a special 2, and I don't have to worry about when I throw it, whether his Fury phase or his Regen phase. It doesn't matter. I'm going to keep my debuffs up, and once I get my debuffs up, I don't really have to worry about his Regen whatsoever. My debuffs are going to just completely negate it. And one more special one, I believe, and that'll be the end of King Groot. Okay, I did speed up these fights a little bit just because they were taking so long, and it's a long war. We got 13 fights in this one. They're good ones, but they're not. I couldn't blitz them all down as fast as I would like to. Here we got our standard Node 20 Man-Thing here. Every 10 hits, he's going to get an armor up. When he has an armor up, he's going to put on shocks. He's also a miss defender. So my goal here is always power start 1, as long as I have them. Get the big special 2 with the concussion on right away. Because he's a miss defender, I am going to block specials I do not want to evade. And then once I get the special 2-1, I'm going to go straight into the special 1. You can see that I am taking some shock damage because he does have the armor up. If I hit him with the armor up, there's a chance for me to get a shock. But it's fine. I know that I might take a little bit of some damage here, but this is the best way that I know to take down this Man-Thing. That's the way I like to do it. Next up, we have the EMP. I forgot to get the beginning of the fight here, or at least the nodes. But this is EMP Apocalypse. We did this one with Nebula a couple wars ago. He was a little stingy with his specials, which was the only thing that's annoying here. What's going to happen is every time I get a buff, The EMP is going to, my buff goes away. I'm going to get shocks, which is great, which is just going to improve my shocks here. But I'm not going to be able to gain power. So the goal here is really just to build up shocks and then parry in order to apply them. But he was being really stingy with that special 2. He did not want to throw it. I keep trying to bait that special 2. The other thing here is bubble shield is key. That red circle above me, if he gets to 10, the next hit is unblockable. I did use an invulnerability boost here because I am not confident that I'm not going to get clipped. But like, the timing has to be absolutely perfect. But here you're going to see I'm going to take, we're up to 8, and I'm going to evade the rest of that here. There's, I'm still at 8 charges, get that big shock on, but this one here, 9, 10, and that one was unblockable, but I had my invul boost to protect me there, so that's perfect. Now again, he doesn't go unblockable again until 20, but I think there's also aspect of evolution on this one. So the more specials he throws, the more bars of power he gets, the harder he's going to be hitting. And that is going to come into play on a different node later on as well. But there, the shocks take him out. Nebula for the win. Awesome job. We're going to continue up path 1. We had a Vision Aarkus. I kept up my invul boost for both these fights because I knew that there's a really high chance that Aarkus is going to go to a special 3 on this fight. This is another one of those regen ones that he's there because of tenacity and that you can't comfortably parry him to get heal blocks on. So here we cannot get our debuffs shrugged off, so I want to just get to a special 2. That is the whole goal here. Special 2, then special 1. So we're just going to parry heavy bait specials. I know he's gaining them really fast. At this point, I'd rather put my special 2 on than bait out another special attack. I don't care if I push him to special 3. I have the invulnerability boost on. I know I'm going to survive this. No problem. I can take 3 of them if I had to, as long as I don't screw up the actual fight. So there we go. Now I can go right back into a special 1, and goodbye Aarkus. Okay, next up was Mole Man. Also, this one was on buffet. So all I really needed to do here was, again, I needed someone who could not... Mole Man can shrug off debuffs. So again, between King Groot, Aarkus, Mole Man, the strategy here was someone who can't shrug off debuffs, and Apocalypse fit the mold perfectly. Again, I'm just going to try not to evade on this one because of the buffet. Here, I do end up doing it. You see that big regen there, but it's okay. Once I get my debuffs on, I can completely negate that, so that's fine. There, I'm going to move out of the way while it's on cooldown. I can parry heavy, and I want to get to a special 1, get all 4 debuffs on, and that's the end of Mole Man. Another fight that I was a little concerned about was Apocalypse here against Silver Surfer. Normally, with Thorns and Buffet, I take like a Horseman Archangel, does really well here. Here I figure if he does gain an armor up, then I will become bleed immune because I'm Apocalypse and I can become bleed immune over like 9 seconds of taking a bleed. But I'm just going to go with, and again, it's got strike counter, but I'm going to go straight to a, with a power start, go to special 2. We're going to evade his special 2. There, I did trigger, he's a miss attacker, so I must have, I forgot about triggering miss. Like, I don't want to dex any of his specials, but I had to move out of the way of that special 2. We go into special 1. Now, I'm doing pretty well here. I'm not concerned. I have not triggered a bleed yet, but we take that on the block so that we don't have to worry about the miss, and goodbye Surfer. Next up, some more fights that I was more concerned about because I didn't have necessarily the ideal counter. Usually I go Apocalypse up path 2 because of like Hard Knock Life, where if I parry, I'm going to get a disorient. So here I'm trying to play this Overseer stun immune. So you can see I'm not parrying as best I can, and I have to throw specials because of the strike counter. I don't want his block penetration picking up. And when he does throw specials, I have to be careful about his auto block. But again, I also have the Power Sting synergy from Mr. Fantastic, so I'm going to get some extra damage. Here, after his special, I'm only going to throw 1 hit into it. I don't want to get auto blocked. So again here, going to wait it out, let him hit into my block, beta heavy, And that's how I'm going to get my damage in. Again, throw the special, so we limit the block penetration. Here is a nice move right after his special 1. Heavy counter, like that one. Practice that a little bit. Alright, now we can intercept in there, because now we go for another intercept. He's power locked, so that's great. Now he throws a special 1 again. We're going to go again with the heavy counter. And now we're just going to wait for the auto block to finish. Now we can bait that heavy, and we can try and finish this one up. Again, keep spamming special 1s because of the strike counter block penetration. So there we do get one, we do go for 1 parry at the end there, but really happy with how that fight went. Next up is another one with Magneto against Hitmonkey, where again, Apocalypse would absolutely shine. Here, if I dash back twice, I'm going to get a disorient. So I'm trying not to trigger evade. I know I'm going to have to do like a double dash back when he throws his special 1. But what's interesting is when I throw my special 1, one of the most annoying things about Hitmonkey is that he can evade you after you knock him down, and he can also purify the next debuff that comes in. But because when I throw the special 1, I knock him down and apply a bleed afterwards, he purifies that bleed. So technically I can parry again, and he's not going to shrug it off right after I throw my special 1. So I throw the special 1, you can see he purifies that green like wording at the bottom right. He's purifying the bleed, and because he purifies the bleed, now I'm free to parry again. So same thing happened. If you look closely, it says purified because he got rid of the bleed, and then when I do get a disorient, I'm getting a little bit of healing from it. So it's not too bad. Got to dance around his special 1 there again. But I really like the way that this ended up working out in my favor here. I didn't necessarily plan that little interaction out, but it was a nice surprise once I could see what was actually going on there. Bait 1 more special 1, and goodbye Hitmonkey. Next up in the boss circle, so we got Immortal with the White Magneto pre-fight. I do throw on my other 3 pre-fights with Mr. Fantastic. Now this is the one, it's all about like falter here, so I have to keep up heavy attacks for the most part. And because I put on a White Magneto pre-fight, then I can parry in heavy, no problem. I just know that he was really stingy with throwing specials, even when he was in or out of that power gain mode. So keep up the parry heavies. You can see here, even when he's not in the power gain mode, he did not want to throw specials. Even with the taunt on him, he wasn't really throwing specials. I did have an invul boost on just in case there. He finally throws a special 2. And then I think he does get to a special 3 at one point. Again, very stingy. And I should have countered more when I realized that he had the falter on him. And when he was attacking me, he was just whiffing. I was just getting nervous that I was going to screw up. So I just wanted to go for make sure I could get my parry heavies. Like right there, I probably could have had some extra hits in. But it is an interesting interaction, like this node in general. So once he throws that special 3, it's okay. I can eat the special 3. It's really not an issue. And then I can just go back into parry heavies. So again, took some time, but again, I do have the power sting, so when he actually does throw a special, there we go. Again, continuing with the same thing. It's just a little bit slow, especially with the rank 2 Mr. Fantastic as opposed to my usual rank 3 on the main account. So, but again, really happy. The rank up worked out perfectly and did exactly what I wanted. Now, Man-Gog. We've done this fight so many times, and I have my strategy in place. I didn't even take off dexterity this time. We're going to go with a power start 1. The goal here is parry heavy until we get to a special 3. Make sure the power drain is on, or power lock, and then we are going to drop a special 3 and get the permanent power lock. Now, the only problem here is that it put him right below bar power, and Doc Ock doesn't completely power lock him. He gives you power, and takes it away. Now look what happens. See the bar? Green, white, green, white, green, white. On an aspect evolution, every time he gains a bar of power, it increases his armor and it increases his block penetration. And I'm realizing after I start throwing these specials that I am doing like no damage, right? That's just not, it's going really slow. And I don't know if I was going to be able to, I was trying to figure out in my head as the fight is going on, why is he gaining so much? And then all of a sudden, at the same time, I'm realizing on my parries, I am taking huge chunks of damage. So I am going to screw up, and it is on me that I screw up in this one, because at one point I just completely whiff on a parry and I get smoked. But I was going to die from the block damage anyway. At this point, when I got to the special 3, I was actually trying to back up and throw the special 3. I screwed up. I came back in, and even on this fight, I was flustered after the last one. I made a stupid mistake on here. I went for a combo instead of a heavy, got rid of my power control of this fight. I end up getting stuck eating a special 2. This is really ugly, but I guess lesson learned. I do not die in this fight, even though I get my butt handed to me. So it's 1 death against this Man-Gog, but the key bit to understand is that I need to make sure that he has either no bars of power, or I push him over a bar of power and bait a special 1 after I throw that special 3. I have to be really careful about that, because it's really screwed me up there. At least I survived that special 2 after that bonehead mistake on this one. So almost a bonehead mistake after a rare occurrence. And we do manage to get Man-Gog down here. So Doc Ock still comes through in the clutch for me, but I was really annoyed at that interaction. That and the aspect of evolution really messed me up. Now here, I should have researched this fight a little bit more. I know that Nebula can shut down Dragon Man on Hazard Shift. You just need 5 charges. But I didn't think about where my damage was going to come from once I get to 5 charges. So I get to the 5 charges. I do get stuck in the corner a little bit. And I get some accidental parries. Like right there, I get an accidental parry. I can see that I'm putting some shock damage on Dragon Man. But now the Hazard Shift is screwing me up. There, luckily, I get some self-repair in the corner. So I get some healing, even though I got hit in the face. But really what I should have done is I should have built up to a special 3. And then afterwards, I'd be doing a lot of shock damage on like every hit. And if I would have done that, the fight would have been over a lot sooner. Instead, I get stuck throwing a special 2 into a block. I end up taking, this is just an ugly one. I get the solo, but it was definitely not the way to do it. I was making a joke. I was checking with Cody, my old teammate who's done this fight so many times, but I didn't ask enough questions. And I made the joke I'm going to do my best Cody impression, and this was not the Cody impression. You got to check out his channel for the right way to do it. Nebula against this Dragon Man, but I'll take it. It's good practice. We were going to win we won this one, so really happy with the result. Really disappointed that we had gone 2 wars in a row without a death. Finally, that streak was broken again. I think we're like 92 and like 3 or 4 on the season, so really happy with the solo rate, but disappointed in how a couple of these fights went. But at the same time, it was a lot of strategy in order to figure out who I was actually going to bring in order to get this one the way we wanted. So hope you enjoyed the war, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.